New at 5, parents are being held responsible when their children commit crimes. In benchmark cases in Michigan and here in Virginia, parents face charges after their children got access to a gun and shot someone.
So jurors found Jennifer Crumbley, the mother of a Michigan school shooter, Ethan Crumbley, guilty of involuntary manslaughter last December. And then in Newport News, Deja Taylor pleaded guilty to felony child neglect after her 6-year-old son got a hold of a gun and shot his teacher at Richneck Elementary School. Dana Smith is digging deeper into the facts of both cases and what this means for the future of children getting access to guns.
Who should be held accountable if a child gets a gun and shoots someone? Some courts have decided parents are responsible. A Michigan jury found Jennifer Crumbley guilty of involuntary manslaughter after her son shot and killed 4 students at his high school in 2021. Crumbley's husband, James, is also facing charges. It's a rare case of police charging parents for a shooting committed by their child, but it's something Virginia has seen before. Deja Taylor is behind bars for child neglect after her 6-year-old son shot his teacher at Richneck Elementary School. Even though Taylor did not pull the trigger, a judge ruled she was liable for the reckless decisions that led to the shooting.
I don't think that it would necessarily be uncommon to see, more charging of parents for the actions of their children.
Legal analyst Ed Booth said holding parents responsible for their children's actions could become a growing trend, based, of course, on the circumstances of each incident. The Crumbley and Taylor cases are similar in some ways.
The similarities, of course, we're talking about parental responsibility for something that a child did.
What sets them apart, Booth said, is that child neglect is at the center of Taylor's case, while involuntary manslaughter is the charge that convicted Crumbley. But both involve a child gaining access to a firearm at home.
Certainly, we can kind of read the tea leaves with some of the proposed legislation before our General Assembly regarding, the proper storage of firearms.
A bill that will require Virginia school boards to notify parents that it's their responsibility to safely store firearms at home just passed the Senate. A bill before the House of Delegates would impose possible civil and criminal liability if handguns are not locked and kept away from children.
Any responsible gun owner should make sure that their firearms are secured.
Dana Smith, 13 News Now.
In the Michigan case, the school shooter's father, James Crumbley, will stay on trial in March on the same involuntary manslaughter charges. ABC's chief legal analyst spoke today on Good Morning America about how the mother's trial could impact that one.
Well, so on the one hand, this will help him, right? He now gets to see everything that happened, what worked, what didn't. He's now got the roadmap. On the other hand, look, he is the one who's theoretically more culpable here, right? He was the one responsible for the gun. He's the one who went and actually bought the gun with him. He was the one who was responsible for the storage of the weapon. So that case could be a tougher one, but he'll have a little advantage in having been able to see how this case went.
And Jennifer Crumbley's sentence could also act as a model if the father is found guilty. She faces up to 60 years in prison, but Dan Abrams, who you just heard from, says it'll likely be closer to a 5 to 10 year sentence.